Hello and welcome back to the channel, folks. Getae are here. Yes, Getae. I was gonna make some kind of lame joke on, you getting here for a battle or something like that, but I decided to spare you all from, no doubt, the ear bleeding and everything that would follow from my old man dad jokes. But yeah, the Dacians, or Getae, are here, and they're gonna be rocking some noble swords in this fight, but I also see noble spears in the fight, so let's go remind ourselves of what the noble spears do. They do have the elite spear. It's going to be the 6 AP. Yep, so they do have the elite spear. So Sacred Band, eat your heart out. However, these guys don't have near the armor of a hoplite unit. They don't have a hoplite wall, but they do have cavalry counter tactics and shield screen, which would give them essentially kind of the same stuff as a hoplite wall. So a very tough spear unit, very expensive. An odd unit indeed, though. It is it's amazing versus large if you can get into those fights. It's okay against like lighter infantry and hoplites and stuff like that. It's terrible if you get into a fight with heavy sword infantry. There are mercenary axe warriors in a second line here. Axe warriors are going to be mediocre on the charge, good at armor piercing. They're going to be something that you want to get into a fight behind something else and let them hack away at the armor. There are Dacian heavy bowmen up front. These are cool bowmen. You're going to see these a lot whenever the Getae get on the battlefield because they have better armor. They can withstand a little bit more of a beating, both in melee and at range. The armor is going to help with both. And they do pretty good damage, and they have 150 range, so definitely solid units. There's armored spears interspersed with them, helping to guard. And then on the flanks, we're going to see some mercenary Thracian cavalry here. It's really cool. Those are excellent skirmishers. And what do we got over here? Bow horsemen. So 2 mercenary Thracians and 2 bow horsemen. So Dacia, or the Getae in this case, have basically foregone melee cavalry in favor of mobility, but a lot of heavy hitters in the infantry department. Now Carthage has got 3 Balearic slingers up front. This seems to be a pretty standard pick for Carthage in many matchups because the Balearics are very deadly from range. The Dacian heavy bowmen are going to pump out way more damage faster than the Balearics, but the Balearics have more armor piercing. They also have a shield, which is going to give them a slight missile block chance. They have this rapid reload, or quick reload, sorry, that they're using right now, which is going to give them a really good firing rate initially. I would think the numbers, though, for the bowmen could actually give them a pretty solid victory over the Balearic slingers. We're going to see an infantry pushing forward here, either to guard the archer line or to pressure the slinger line. We will see. Those archers took a beating because they got focused early. But the slingers are also getting a bit of a beating in return. So about 40 slingers have gone down, though a unit of archers almost knocked out of the fight there. Slingers are going to have to back up and try and do their work from range. Back here in the back, we've got a bodyguard, and it looks like 2 Carthaginian cav and Iberian swords supporting each little duo of Carthaginian cav. I like that because they come with extra javelins. It's a nice pick. And then I'm thinking Libyans and Samnites. Yes, Libyans and Samnites in a main line. So as far as, it's hard to say with raw infantry power here. It's probably fairly even. The Carthaginian infantry would beat up on these mercenary axe warriors. The noble spears would do okay one-on-one against these units. And the noble sword would trounce probably any 2 of these units. So I would say the infantry fight is probably fairly even, maybe a bit in favor of the Dacians here, but Carthage has the cavalry mobility advantage, and they have a skirmish advantage. They also have a Cretan archer back here that they were hiding. Cheeky. And a mercenary noble fighter. Wow, okay. There may be more back here from Carthage as well, I don't know, but that was cheeky indeed. Nice scouting here by the Thracian cavalry. So that Cretan archer needs to stay safe back there. They certainly don't want to lose it. If the Balearic slingers can wear out this front line of bowmen, that'd be pretty handy. Because they still have a Cretan archer in the back. Let's see how they're doing. I mean, they've done a pretty solid bit of damage to the bow line, and honestly, the bows don't come with a ton of ammunition, so if the Balearics can eat up a lot of the ammunition off of these guys too, that's also kind of a benefit, especially if they have the Cretans still alive in the back. They'll want to be careful. The Thracian cavalry could make very short work of the Cretans should they get out of position. They are very capable in a melee against light units like skirmishers. Very versatile cavalry, the Thracians. I feel like that's kind of the type of cavalry. The Thracians are exactly what the Numidians should have been for the Numidian factions and for Carthage. Lightly armored, like in fact, very lightly armored here, down at 40. Quick, solid work with a javelin, but then also very deadly in a light melee, right? And so I think that's the Numidian cavalry, what they should have been, in my opinion. Iberian swords taking some shots here from the bow horsemen and trying to wear them down some. It looks like the slingers are definitely worse for the wearer in the fight against the heavy bows. The heavy bows had the numbers, and they also have quick reload, and they were making their presence felt, but Carthage should have spent up a fair amount of their ammunition at this point, and Carthage is seeking the melee engagement at this juncture. We'll see what happens. Like I said, I kind of expect the axes to die rather handily. Looks like it's a 2v1 right here too. This unit doesn't have a good charge, so that Samnite warrior is going to get charged with nothing in return. That's a head-on charge there, and then this one also not a great charge here because it was chasing an armored spear. And it looks like Dacia is going to go ahead and start wrapping around Carthage's left flank there. The Iberian sword was routed by the bow horsemen, so nice work there. And that leaves those Carthaginian cavalry unsupported. It also means that there's a little bit of lacking support over here for these slingers at the moment. This is the noble spear, so a nice job here with the slingers getting into the flank of that noble spear. Let's see what the archers do. If they continue to fire into the Balearic slingers, they will likely kill them. And the slingers, remember that every time one of them dies, it dies with all that ammunition, and it's going to make it harder for that unit to be as valuable as it can be. So killing those slingers and taking their ammunition with them is not a bad thing overall. The Carthaginian cavalry is pinned up against the red line. They were chasing a Thracian cavalry, which they caught, but they're going to pay a very dear price for this because they are still stuck over there. There they go, they're going to turn around, but they really don't want to be chasing these units. It looks like they're going to sacrifice a Thracian cap, maybe? No. Just a quick blow to javelins to the face there. So, the Axe Warriors holding out a little longer than I would have expected. But, like over here, the Libyans are a little bit worse for wear after a not-so-great charge. Carthaginian cavalry still has numbers here. That is a Dacian heavy skirmisher that I didn't see earlier. Maybe it wasn't 4 bows, maybe it was the heavy skirmisher. Yeah, no, it was 4 bows. I just didn't catch the heavy skirmisher earlier. It's a well-armored peltist, essentially. Yeah, 60 armor. Similar to like a Libyan or a heavy peltist. Carthaginian general and some cavalry here, hitting another heavy skirmisher that was on the other flank. They are really nice flank support units along with the cavalry. Here comes a armored spear and cavalry counter tactics. It's going to shred Carthaginian horses here if they do not get away from that fight immediately, which it looks like they are attempting to do. You do not want to be anywhere near a cavalry fight with cavalry counter tactics popped. The Noble Sword General came forward after the mercenary Samnites had kind of won their initial fight against some Axe Warriors. That Axe Warrior looks like it retreated. And then, so from an infantry standpoint, Carthage is winning the fight against the Axes. It's getting trounced by the Noble Swords. And it looks like Carthage lost to the Noble Spear here as well, although the Noble Spear took heavy losses in the process as well. They are not very effective against heavy infantry. They will be effective against lighter infantry. Let's see here, this Libyan infantry is going to need to intercept that Noble Sword. These mercenary Samnites here are going to do very well for themselves, theoretically. I mean, if this one turns and fights that Noble Sword, though, it's going to get shot right in the back by that heavy bowman. Heavy bows do finally finish the Balearic slingers, and it looks like the spears did keep up. That noble fighter that was held in reserve now coming into play. The Cretan archer now completely at the whims of this bow horseman. They are in the woods, so if both bow horsemen just went for it, I would think they would kill him, but at the same time, just keeping this thing bottled up back here might kind of be a benefit, as long as it continues to waste its ammunition. So Carthage going to bring those noble fighters in. They're going to get shot up by the heavy skirmishers on the way in. That really sucks for Carthage, and now they're going to get caught between a rock and a hard place. Javelins on the side, noble swords in the front, armored spears in the rear, and then this unit right here has not moved or made any decisions, and so it's gotten thrashed and is beginning to waver as well. The noble fighters will hit very, very hard on the charge here. especially since the noble swords have taken a bit of a beating, but the noble fighters are lower armor, and their defense is lower as well, so they'll pay a price fairly quickly into that fight. The heavy skirmishers, having expended their ammunition or wanting to expend more, are moving up closer to the fight now. Probably looking to get in a better position to finish off that noble fighter. So Carthage was forced into a melee. It was not able to win the melee decisively. The heavy bowmen were still alive, and despite having less ammunition, they had plenty of ammunition to effect the fight here. The Cretan archer and the noble fighter made their appearance on the front line too late to be of any significant value for the Carthaginians, so I feel like these units would have been here earlier. They could have potentially made a very big difference in this fight. The Cretan archers were definitely needed in the fight against the heavy bows, and the noble fighter was needed immediately in the fight against the Dacian infantry. So yeah, Carthage had a lot of cavalry too that could have helped neutralize those heavy skirmishers in the right situation, but their cavalry ended up on some goose chases after the Dacian mobility, and again that ended up costing them some. I ended up ending the replay. I apologize for this. We didn't go check out the stats. My bad. But anyway, thank you to the players. I know it was, well, here we can go see the players actually pull the replay back up. But I can't skip straight to the end of it, unfortunately. It'd be cool if there was like a feature to go straight to the stats. But that was Stabbo Crabbo and Hotel Soap there. So I appreciate Stabbo Crabbo. I also appreciate that name because that is absolutely amazing. So thank you, Stabbo, for playing as Carthage there. It didn't quite work out this time, but it was a cool army nonetheless. I like the army in general that he picked. It had a lot of cavalry, option, like in terms of the 4 cavalry units there, supporting them with the Iberian swords, good skirmishing, solid infantry lines. So I think it was a good Carthage build. Wasn't able to overcome the Getae this time, but anyway, GG to both players. HeirofCarthage signing out for now. I'll see you soon with some more action in Total War Rome 2.